Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. A little later, we had some taping going on in the studio, but I'm in. How you doing on this fine Monday? How you doing, folks? Appreciate you tuning in. This is your host. Okay, don't wear this super white shirt in this studio. Gotcha. Super bright. Can't even see. How you doing? We're here live after the weekend. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you being with me, especially those who were with me on Friday as we had ourselves a nice little quick flight to Florida. Where did we land? We landed in Miami International. Great flight. Beautiful, perfect flight, honestly. And it was great. It was a great flight, and you don't want to miss those flights. They happen every Friday. Hit the notification bell. Subscribe. That way you don't miss your flight, okay? You don't want to miss your flight. Otherwise, you can like the stream, or you can comment if there's something you don't like. If the shirt's too bright. How you doing? I've said that already, but I like saying hello to you guys. As much as I hate saying goodbye. What's up, Zorak, Lord High Prince, Charlie Chutch, John Frederick. What's up, cuz? Mr. Pink, how you doing, Triple T? Nice to see you in the chat, sir. The distinguished Triple T. And I see your calls coming in. That's 888-775-3773 if you want to jump on the line. And you'll be on hold just a little bit here because I want to get into some things. I got a whole bunch of stuff I want to get into. A little bit political, a little bit of UFC madness. You know, I talked about Sean Strickland before. And I teased the fight video on Friday, and we never got into it. In fact, we didn't even get into a single topic, video, or anything on Friday because I had so many calls. And that's awesome. Thank you for the calls. Appreciate all the calls. We should have gotten to some videos, though. And I wanted to show you that fight between Sneako and Sean Strickland everybody's talking about. There's something I want to mention about that. But yes, how you doing? Carver, how you doing, couples? Welcome. Kilo Alpha Tango. Anybody watch that Super Bowl? I didn't watch that. I didn't catch it. What was I telling you? 888-775-3773. Anything else I got to do here? You know, I'm live on Rumble. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Nick flew over to meet his dad. He found him via 23andMe. That's where we went. We went to Miami to once and for all find my father. We got some OGs in the chat. Appreciate that, Lord High Prince. That's funny. Hey, Vasco. Sneako's a beta Muslim. We're going to get into that, Bobby Blanco. But is this real? No, I didn't watch any of the Super Bowl mess. And, you know, it's like football. It's great, I'm sure. But I've said it before, football's not really, NFL is not really about football. At least not the main thing, it seems. It seems like it's drama, opera, and a little bit of football. So I got some stuff here. I'm trying to open up my folder here so I can show you, because I want to ask, I'm wondering, is that anyone who did watch it, and I'm sure my chat only watched it purely for the football, I'm sure of it. I'm sure they cringed and hemmed and hawed. What do they say? What does that even mean? When they saw the mess or whatever. So they were only watching for the football. Maybe some of you, one of you, someone can tell me if �💐💊💂💍 is just playing a prank here. He says, why do ads keep doing this? He posts, and it's this. It looks like it might be a frame, like a single frame from a commercial from the Super Bowl over the weekend, yesterday. Tell me, is this real? Did this really happen? It almost seems like a joke, right? The top half it seems like a beautiful mixed family overlooking their balcony here and their home, seemingly. And there's the thief criminal in Nick likes the other football, the cheap football. Here's Grandpa from down the street. It's like, Grandpa, take that off already, okay? We know it's you. Mr. Rogers from down the street, stop it. We know it's you. And he's just like deranged. I don't know if they try to make it seem like a criminal. There's something wrong about this picture. There's something cartoonish. But I don't know if anyone saw this. I should have didn't. I didn't see it. I didn't even watch it. I watched for the psyop. Right on, Nada. Did you see this psyop, though? I'm wondering if �💐💊💂💍 is messing around. Was that a real commercial? Come on. It's so on the nose at this point. That's funny because I'm not repeating that. There was a black girl, Asian guy commercial. And, do I really have to tell you how clearly wrong that is? It's a joke at this point, right? The white grandpa, old white man criminal accosting the nice mixed race family. A picture of America. Well, I don't want to spend too much time on the Super Bowl. Come on, we know what it is, what they've been supporting, the kneeling, all this crap. Did you know that all of your favorite sports leagues sent a letter to Congress in support of gun control? If you didn't know, just in case you didn't know, it looks like they did. Oh, wait, hold on. We're done with you, mixed family. We're done with you, commercial. We're talking about this now. Did you know that all of your favorite sports leagues sent a letter to Congress in support of gun control? This is from Gun Owners of America. And according to them, the NFL, the NHL, the NBA, the MLB, MLS, and even NASCAR sent a letter in support of the Undetectable Firearms Act. Is that the red flag law stuff? Undetectable Firearms Act? Sounds like a bunch of gun control to me. And I'm saying that in a facetious voice, but I think that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment. The United States Undetectable Firearms Act makes it illegal to manufacture, import, sell, ship, deliver, possess, transfer, or receive any firearm that is not detectable by walk-through metal detection. Now, why the FI not? As an American, I'm just asking. As an American anchor, baby, I'm just asking. But here's your, if you didn't already know, come on, guys. You knew your bread and circuses has been far from just... They're putting stuff in your bread and circuses, man. They've adulterated your bread and circuses. It's more than just bread and circuses, as bad as enough as that is. They've tainted it. It's adulterated now. What a mess. Aren't there some important things going on? I'm reminded of that Alex Jones clip where he's making fun of football people. I get it. It's a cool sport. But where is it? Where is it? Alex Jones. He's like, what does he say? He's like, oh yeah, you don't like paying attention to what's going on? Oh, where is it? Where's the little clip? Now, I think I got it going. Why isn't it working?
What do you think of this?
Boom. I'm a genius. I'm not. But check it out. I've already spent so much time here. Let's move on after this shortly. Boom.
Hey, what do you think of the Cowboys? What do you think of this?
Yeah, did you see the simulated combat on TV? Yeah, I watched it. A bunch of rich gladiators that could care less about me. Did you see it? Yeah, I'm empty too. Yeah, I did. I fill my head with facts and figures that don't matter instead of learning the political system and standing up for myself. Again, I'm not saying sports are bad in and of themselves.
Oh, right on, Alex Jones. Thanks for that.
But not when it's your whole focus. It's always the same. They're like androids. They have like little fake conversations. So, what do you think of the playoffs? What do you think of the weather? Oh, yeah. And you start bringing up, I don't know, what do you think of the surveillance grid going in? Have you heard about how they're listening?
I don't know if have you ever had a conversation like that? Well, I don't know. What do you think about, the weather. Well, what do you think about the surveillance grid? I don't know if I've ever had a conversation quite like that. I may have found myself in similar things. Alex Jones. They had the Black Anthem, ridiculous commercials. You don't need me to tell you. Even though I keep telling you, right? You don't need me to tell you, but here I go, keep telling you, right? You saw the He Gets Us commercials where they're it's supposed to be Jesus washing the feet of all these diverse people. Essentially saying the opposite of what Jesus was saying. Oh, you're a sinner. You got sin in you. You need to be born again. This is the total opposite. Just accept everyone just because love is love and other such platitudes. It's not Christian. And then we'll move on. Then we're done. It's just not Christian. You look it up. Non-Christians made this ad. So there you go. It was not Christians. And even the ones who call themselves Christian, well, I don't know what to tell you. There's plenty of those. I'm sure you know that. You don't need me to tell you that either. 888-775-3773. Appreciate the patience. Callers on hold. Politicking. Everyone was politicking a little bit over the Super Bowl. Trump says there's no way Taylor Swift will endorse Biden. I heard that the Biden Twitter account put out a little dark Biden tweet where it might be a photoshopped Biden image where he's got laser eyes after the Chiefs won, trying to add fire. Whoever did that, I'm sure, in the Biden team there. At least sounds like they have at least one creative person there on their Twitter team playing into the whole conservative conspiracy theory that the Biden administration and Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, it's all part of the same gambit here. It's all part of a grand advertising scheme to get that Taylor Swift endorsement. And I'm not saying that's out of the realm of possibilities. They're doing much worse and right in our faces. But does Taylor Swift really need to do that? They hate men. They hate Trump. We know the game. We know how it goes. Trump saying there's no way, though. I signed and was responsible for the Music Modernization Act for Taylor Swift and other musical artists. Joe Biden didn't do anything and never will. Doing a little politicking, Who knows if the endorsement comes, but does it matter? Does it matter? Their hearts are evil. These people are voting for, will do evil's bidding anyways. If Biden actually cared, if anyone actually cared, if the current administration, Biden, if Republicans cared, if anyone really cared, they would try to get Taylor Swift. Who said this? Someone said this to me recently. It was cracking me up. If anyone really cared about America, they would have Taylor Swift marry this Travis Kelce individual and have babies, inspiring the Swifties to have babies of their own and inspiring a new American baby boom, the Swift boom. And then you will actually be doing something good. But I don't know. They're all like into LGBT. They hate Trump. They hate men. If they cared, though, if Taylor Swift cared about America, she would have some babies and inspire the Swifties. This would go down in history who are these people who track birth rates and all that? You would get the baby boom. You would have these cohorts, and you would have the swift boom. This would go down in history. I'm telling you. More white babies too. Yeah, absolutely. So who knows? Who knows? Does it? They're voting the way they do, no matter what. You know what's else? I wanted to use this though to segue into RFK. RFK came up too. Getting into some politics here. RFK Jr., you know him. He's running as an independent for president, and he's been getting ever since, you know, a little bit of a shunning from the Democrats, the DNC. And he's that guy who speaks in that halting way. He's got an issue, something. Many say that he'll never be president for that reason alone. RFK Jr. apologized after Super PAC Superbowl commercial. Apparently, there's a Super PAC that is putting up all the money behind RFK here. They put up a distasteful commercial, apparently, where RFK had to apologize to his own family members. I'm so sorry if the Super Bowl advertisement caused anyone in my family pain. The ad was created and aired by the American Values Super PAC without any involvement or approval from my campaign. Showed John F. Kennedy and other imagery. I mean, whatever. I don't really care so much about the apology. Interesting, though, people are still emotional. Individuals, families, groups, they'll take deaths and issues that didn't happen to them, and they keep it going. And it becomes part of your identity, your culture. It can happen again. It happened to us. It happened to them. It happened to my ancestors. RFK Jr. But I'm bringing that up because this Super PAC that's involved with RFK here and RFK himself are now at the center of an investigation, a federal investigation. Democrats have opened a federal investigation into RFK Jr. The DNC accuses RFK Jr. campaign and Super PAC of illegal coordination and seek to exclude him from the presidential ballot. Look, it's interesting for a number of reasons. He's an independent RFK. He's not really a person that's really in any, not according to the media or anything, in any way actually a threat in the presidential race here. He's really just a problem for the Democrats, right? Splitting votes and et cetera. The thing about RFK is he seems to be pretty level-headed on certain things here, enough so that he has garnered the attention of Democrats and Republicans alike. He's gone independent, and now they're saying he didn't quite follow these deep, probably multiple pages of rules that us laymen aren't privy to. But they're saying now he's lying and cheating and stealing, and it just seems a little bit. When you got Biden and they're saying he's not fit to be in trouble for the document thing. It's just where is this all going? DNC accuses RFK Jr., so they're trying to keep him off the ballot, him as well. And I'm bringing that up because I wanted to kind of demonstrate something, I guess, where the establishment, where their motivations lie, and when their true face gets revealed, when the mask comes off, and Republican, Democrat, and all these names mean nothing, and they're all truly on the same side. RFK, if you don't know anything about him, here's the reason why so many Democrats and Republicans find him level-headed. I mean, he's a liberal. I think he sees the racism thing and all that crap. But when you see him talk like this, I'm about to show you a video here, you realize why both sides, the establishment, it'll come out the woodwork. They go after people like RFK, people like Trump. How about we watch this beautiful footage here? Hold on here. Give me 1 second. Make sure we're unmuted here. RFK, let's watch.
This is a war that should have never happened. It's a war that Russians tried repeatedly to settle on terms that were very, very beneficial to.
My apologies if I didn't set that up correctly enough, he's talking about the war in Ukraine. Duh. So you may have missed the first part. Let's just start from the beginning.
This is a war that should have never happened. It's a war the Russians tried repeatedly to settle on terms that were very, very beneficial to Ukraine and us. The major thing they wanted was for us to keep NATO out of the Ukraine. The big military contractors want to add new countries to NATO all the time. Why? Because then that country has to conform its military purchases to NATO weapon specifications, which means certain companies, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, General Dynamics, Boeing, and Lockheed, get a trapped market. In March of 2022, we committed $113 billion. Just to give you an example, we could have built a home for almost every homeless person in this country.
Make them work too, though. Make them work too. They gotta work. I'm down for a grand reimagining of things. But anyways, you're following so far, huh? The companies, the dirty money.
We then committed another $24 billion since then, 2 months ago, and now President Biden's asking for another $60 billion. But the big, big expenses are going to come after the war, when we have to rebuild all the things that we destroyed. Mitch McConnell was asked, can we really afford to spend $113 billion to Ukraine? He said, don't worry. It's not really going to Ukraine.
It's going to American defense manufacturers.
There it is right there. Has anyone seen this video? This video should be everywhere. I'm Trump, and look, RFK is a liberal in some ways. I'm just not a support of him. But the North is North. The truth is the truth. This video should be everywhere. I saw this just recently.
So he just admitted it's a money laundering scheme. And who do you think owns every one of those companies? Yeah, BlackRock. So Tim Scott, during the Republican debate, said, don't worry, it's not a gift to Ukraine, it's a loan. So raise your hand if you think that loan's ever getting paid back. Yeah, of course it's not. So why do they call it a loan? Because if they call it a loan, they can impose loan conditions. And what are the loan conditions that we impose on? Number one, an extreme austerity program, so that if you're poor in Ukraine, you're going to be poor forever. Number two, most important, Ukraine has to put all of its government-owned assets up for sale to multinational corporations, including all of its agricultural land, the biggest single asset in Europe. In Ukraine, there's been 1,000 years of war fought over that land. It's the richest farmland in the world. It's the breadbasket of Europe. 500,000 kids almost, Ukrainian kids, have died to keep that land as part of Ukraine. They almost certainly didn't know about this loan condition. They've already sold 30% of it. The buyers were DuPont, Cargill, and Monsanto. Who do you
I love GMOs.
think owns all of those companies? Yeah, BlackRock. And then in December, President Biden gave out the contract to rebuild Ukraine. And who do you think got that contract? BlackRock. So they're doing this right in front of us.
So those callers and Big Bump, so when Big Bump was telling me about the bankers and the defense manufacturers and wars being big business, he wasn't lying? I mean, when RFK lays it out like this, and you could look up so much of this. So Big Bump was on it.
They don't even care that we know anymore, because they know that they can get away with it. And how do they know that? Because they have a strategy. And that strategy is an old strategy, which is they keep us at war with each other. They keep us hating on each other. They keep the Republicans and Democrats fighting each other, black against white, and all these divisions that they sow.
Kennedy 24. Okay, no, hold on. I didn't want to show that part. Kennedy, stop it. It's Trump 2024. Well, right on RFK, with some interesting info. And I show you that because you're seeing all this mess now with Trump and NATO. And they're saying incendiary NATO remarks. You're seeing this from both sides. You're getting this from Republicans. Blast Trump over threat to abandon NATO allies. Reuters. Of course, the liberals. CNN. Trump's incendiary NATO remarks send very real shudders. And now it's like, I'm sure you can ask pretty common sense questions here that don't make this seem so crazy. Like, okay, well, the media will support NATO because it's still our safety, it's still our security. But it's still proof of these lines, of these, can we call them political and ideological lines? Those who want to continue this NATO military machine, and Trump saying, "Hey, pump the brakes. I want things a little different." Some are unclear exactly what Trump would do, what he wants with NATO and the world stage. But in my opinion, he's a level-headed guy who wants peace. So it's just an interesting thing to see. Kind of, for me, it's a mask off kind of thing. I don't know how you guys see it. 888-775-3773. I'm about to get to calls here. Got some interesting calls, but yeah, how do you guys see it? I see it as the same. We're seeing this border bill. What happened with the border bill? Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, same old rhinos, same old names. And they're all mad at Trump, right? They're all mad at Trump, saying, "Oh, well, he's throwing a wrench in the whole thing. We're trying to fix the border here." And you look into it, and it codifies it. It puts it into a bill. It puts it into law, the open border policy that's been going on. 4,000 a day. I mean, there's an incredible. I'm going to put it in the chat here. Let me see if I can put it in the chat. Where is it? Chronicles put out this very easy to read thread. Because remember, we were told by a Republican senator or representative, Lankford, he told us. He said, "Hey, what are you, a bunch of internet conspiracy theorists? What do you think, I'm going to let in 4,000 people?" And I've been waiting since he said that, since he called us a bunch of internet wackos. I've been waiting to see, well, that's not going to be true, right? That this bill is going to let in all these, it's going to put it into law to let in a minimum amount of people per day. I put in the chat a link, very easy to read thread on this very bill. So Lankford was lying to us, or he's an idiot. I don't know what to tell you, but that's Republicans. And so that's what I got to say about that. I don't know what to tell you. Let me get to some super chats, calls. I want to get into Sean and Tim Scott and Black History Month. Some amazing things. We got many amazing things to get into. But I have some supporters and callers. I appreciate the patience. Beautiful stuff. There was I think a coffee from Friday that I missed. Pablo. Thank you for the coffee, Pablo, on Friday. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Just checking out all my channels here because I'm live on Rumble, rumble.com/AmericanAnchorBaby. I am live on D-Live. What's up, D-Live? How you doing? Thank you for the lemons. Mr. Nyargis. To all my knickers and nickerettes, what's up, Das Fernway? Names I don't usually see, but they're in my Twitch chat. For the faithful few of Twitch, thank you. Make Ukraine Russia again. Whoa, Bobby Blanco. Anyway, so that's what else? Anything else to say about all this? The two wings of the same bird, as they say. Beautiful. Let's go. Let's get right into a call here. We got an interesting caller, I think. Space Cadet, the one and only Space Cadet out of Maryland. Thank you for your call. You're on the air.
Hi, Nick. How you doing?
Hey. I'm just fine.
Hey.
How you doing, Space Cadet? Right on.
Am I allowed to talk?
You're more than welcome to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep it clean. The sun is up.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I heard the other day Jesse claiming And don't forget to check out the American Anchor Baby, and he's a real pilot. And I just got to talk to you about this. Are you taking advantage of an old man again?
Again? When did I do that before?
Yeah, well, you take advantage of Jesse all the time.
Really? How? How dare you, sir?
Because he's old.
And so what? And what am I doing?
Taking advantage.
What, by telling him that I'm a real pilot?
Yeah, maybe.
How's he gonna know?
Exactly.
I just show him the virtual.
Oh my God! Oh,
I just show him the virtual thing. What?
Shit.
What?
I mean.
Oh wait, did I just reveal myself?
How's he gonna know?
Oh no, I wasn't supposed to say that out loud.
You weren't. You were not.
I wasn't supposed to say that because I'm trying to be a real pilot, and people are supposed to think I'm a real pilot.
I want you to be a real pilot so I can stop fucking calling you,
hey,
motherfucker.
what happened to the keeping it clean? What happened to keeping it clean? You promised me.
Okay.
You looked me in the eye sockets and said, "I
I'm
promise."
Sorry. You should hang up on me. I'm sorry.
Don't be non-Christian like that, Space Cadet.
I am a Christian, and I want everyone. Some people were asking, "What religion am I?" I'm non-denominational Christian. I love all you guys.
Right on, Space Cadet. Well, did you see me land on Friday like a real pilot? I don't know. You keep talking mess, but you didn't see me. Did you catch my Friday show? Before you talk mess, did you see me land on Friday? Yes or no?
I said no. I do not waste my time.
See, chat. He doesn't even see. He doesn't even watch. He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know how amazingly we're landing these planes like real. I mean, honestly.
Well, actually,
what's the difference? I don't see a difference between me and a real pilot.
Before you were born, sir, but it's okay.
I don't see the difference between me and a real pilot except just what? Hours?
Yeah, you know what?
Mere hours? Mere hours?
No, actually being a pilot, sir. But it's okay. I got you.
Well, hey, Space Cadet, how about you catch me Friday and then maybe you can tell me what you think?
I just wanted you to make sure that you let Jesse know that you're not a real pilot.
Well, I'm not telling him anything.
Well, I will.
No, don't tell on me. Don't tell on me. Don't tell on me. Whatever you do, Space Cadet, don't call Jesse and tell on me.
I'm going to. Can't wait.
Well, bye. Because you're ruining everything. You're ruining my whole shtick.
I know, right? Okay,
You're single-handedly ruining everything. My whole career, my whole channel. So I'm going to hang up on you now.
Actually, I want to like you. Oh well.
I'm sure we'll keep trying in this tumultuous relationship. Space Cadet. I hope he's not TDS. I don't want to encourage something. I don't want to encourage mess. I'm not here trying to make. There's not a circus. Man, maybe it's kind of a circus sometimes. But I shouldn't. Well, Carver supports more Space Cadet calls, so I don't know. We have supporters in the super chats. Thank you, Carver. Oh, Lord. I got Mark out of Los Angeles. Thank you, sir. You're on the air.
Yeah, thanks for taking the call, Nick.
Yeah, no problem.
I wanted to ask you if you saw the Super Bowl yesterday.
No, I didn't.
Well, let me just go over some of the fine points real quick. They played the Black National Anthem, ridiculous. Kelsey, the player that's dating Taylor Swift, the Soros-backed singer.
He's Soros-backed?
That's what I heard on Mark Dice, Mark Dice show. He said that Mark Dice said that Soros bought some kind of a music company, and I don't understand the details on that, but he bought the company, and so she's owes him now, you could say. And she's a lefty. She's an extreme leftist. Every time the Chiefs did something, they panned over to her. The whole thing,
So you were watching it?
Yeah, I watched it. I knew the Chiefs were going to win before the game started. I'm not a gambler. I think I called Hake last Friday, or I don't know who it was. I think it was Hake, and I told him that anybody who's a betting man should bet for the Chiefs because they're for Biden. Taylor Swift is a Biden supporter. It's a fake love story to get everybody involved. Everybody, oh, yeah, look at that. Isn't that romantic? Now let's all go out and vote for Biden. They have been cheating in the NFL this year, and the only proof, some dopey guy called Haig wrote him a letter this morning and said that I didn't have any evidence on the Soros connection to Swift. Well, he bought the music company. You can get the details on the Mike Dice show. And the rigging of the game, if you watch Facebook Shorts, I don't see you on there, Nick. But Facebook
I know, I should get on that. Yeah.
Yeah, they have Jesse a lot. Once in a while, they'll have Hake. But now, on the Shorts this football season, they have been replaying plays where refs have purposefully not made obvious calls or, they threw penalties when there weren't any. I mean, they've got the evidence right on film. But who can do anything? Nobody could do anything.
I've heard that for years.
Cheating,
yeah,
but,
other sorts of rumors. Some say the NFL is not real. It's all
rigged.
Yeah, what do you say? Do you watch a lot of football? Do you watch a lot of footage?
Well, I do, and I mean, just
so
out
you
of
watch
boredom.
film?
Pardon? Do I watch film?
Did
you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I watch. Are you asking about the repeats? I watch them on Facebook Shorts, and they detail all the bad calls every weekend, and they're making a lot of these bad calls in the Chiefs' favor because that's their team. Colored quarterback, Taylor Swift. All this garbage is being promoted.
I heard you say that about betting. I got tempted, sincerely.
Yeah, FanDuel.
I saw Drake. I think he put like 1.5 million. I saw him put that up, and man, I was tempted. I was like, let me put something on. But that's stupid. But
It's
don't
terrible
count.
because we're.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, by legalizing gambling for football, they're going to get a lot of feeble-minded people, and I think you know who I'm referring to go in on this heavy and lose their money. I'm against gambling. I don't gamble, and I think it's going to ruin the game. I think the refs gamble. I think the players gamble, and I think that's what leads to rigged games.
Wow. That is an interesting take. I didn't watch it. Can't say I do, especially ever since all these sports went just so crazy. I got into soccer, a little bit of basketball, and I like the sport itself, and I got really into some of them. But I can't get it. It's just way harder and harder with the kneeling and all this crap. But don't count Swift out, Mark. She may still be an instrument for good. Because imagine if she got married and had kids with this Travis Kelce guy. That's a white baby boom. We're talking about a white baby boom, her Swiftie white baby boom. Thank you, Taylor Swift.
But I agreed, but they're elitists. They've got millions and millions of dollars. They don't have to face the grief the average white man does because they're living in ivory towers.
Say that again?
Well, they're multimillionaires, Swift and this clown she's dating.
Okay.
And they're not going to have to be subjected to the same evil that the average white middle class family faces because they're rich, they're elitists. They could have 1 million kids. And I agree, it does contribute to the white race.
Right, it would have, and she would look at all her fans. They would be inspired to have little bambinos of their own.
Well, they're all going to vote for Biden. These dopes.
Their hearts are
really,
twisted. They hate men and they hate Trump.
That's right. They hate white men.
So you don't really need a Biden endorsement. They already hate Trump. They already hate men.
Well, it's gonna hurt Trump though for her stupid endorsement. But I thought the whole thing was a disgrace, from the Black National Anthem to the panning over to Taylor Swift to the game ending the way they did. I told everybody, watch out, the Chiefs will win. The other thing, real quick.
If I was king, I would force Taylor Swift, and I would also force the media to make it seem all natural. But if I was king, I would force the media and I would force Taylor Swift to get married, force her to have babies with Travis Kelce, force a media psyop to psyop the Swift fans into having babies. That's what I would do. But you were saying?
Well, I was going to say a little bit of good news. and I mentioned this on Hake earlier, America First Legal, headed by Stephen Miller.
Yeah.
They're suing the lowlifes that run the NFL. You know, that I can't think of his name, the commissioner, this big, soft, self-hating white man. He's being sued because they have this thing called the Roney Rule, which mandates, illegally, of course, that every time a new coach is to be hired for an NFL team, they have to interview a Negro. So, I mean, and America First Legal is challenging that in court, and hopefully
on
it'll be
what basis?
overturned.
Like you can't discriminate or whatever?
Yeah, it violates the Civil Rights Bill of 64.
I thought so. That's why I asked, because anytime you see this, they'll go and their defenses because it's civil rights. And I'm not trying to poo-poo this legal battle here. I wish them well, absolutely. But you and I both know it's the civil rights. There's no such thing as civil rights.
That's right. It's all BS. It was unconstitutional when it was invoked in 64. And the first political party in the United States, and this could be documented and researched, the first political party to adopt the civil rights plank was the U.S. Communist Party in 1928. And of course, 20 years later, the Democrats in 1948 adopted the same treasonous civil rights plank, which Strom Thurmond and some of the other Dixiecrats walked out of the convention because of that. And then, of
that
course,
is some interesting history. Thank you for
that.
Yeah,
and in 64 they passed it, but it was very much opposed by the majority of Americans. But because we have a bunch of sniveling little Republicans, they sided with the commie Democrats and passed it. And look at America today, 60 years later.
Fascinating.
I was around when that bill passed, and it was a sad day for America. And it's been sad from that day, because of that, and all the other bills that they passed after that, to the point now where open discrimination against whites is promoted, actually. Now, Stephen Miller, I think, hopefully, will win this case, and that'll be a major victory on its own. It'll send the right message, let's say.
Well, there seems to be these little things going on, but I wish it all well. What can I say? It's interesting news and info there, Mark. Appreciate your call.
God bless. Thank you.
For sure. Call me again. Oh, I hung up on him mid-sentence there, but I'm sure he was saying bye. I'm sure he was just saying bye. Whew. Anyways, I didn't watch it. Look, I'm not going to watch it. And we're going to move on. Let's move on. That's what we're going to do now. We're going to move on from that whole mess. And we're going to get into this here. Look. Kind of related. I teased it earlier. Tim Scott here, okay? He's making sure that you know that it's Black History Month. This will really segue into Sneako and Sean and masculinity here. But we're going to kick it off first with an amazing video here. Out of the Republican Party, the firebrand, tough Republicans that back Trump. They're MAGA all the way. Let me show you this beautiful footage. Tim Scott here.
Diversity is a major part of the success of America. Our patchwork quilt makes us the most dominant nation on the planet. As we celebrate Black History Month, we need to understand and appreciate all the good things.
Is that really what makes us the dominant nation? The diversity? That's what Tim Scott said.
Brought to us by the diversity of our nation and the people we are. And I want to start by talking about things that you use on a daily basis. Think about things like
Is this old? Hit me up in chat if this is old video.
Stethoscope. Doctors use that every single day. X-rays, elevators. Do you like peanut butter? I do. George Washington Carver.
He did the peanut butter thing. He did the peanut butter thing.
The fact of the matter is that the African-American contribution and investment in America is undeniable and should be celebrated. The future is paved by the success of the past. It is time for us to celebrate the diversity of our nation and the contributions that come.
If that's true, I know I'm pausing it in the middle, but you know he's just doing this diatribe, this platitudes of diversity and all that. The success of the past, well, yeah, sure, because we get to enjoy that today and get to keep it going. But what success are you talking about? It's failures compounding on failures.
From people who look just like me.
Oh, gosh. He did the whole people that look just like me thing. Tim Scott, Black History Month. Is this an old video? Or is this the 2024 MAGA Tim Scott, the evolved Tim Scott? Or is this Tim Scott evolved? Super Saiyajin Tim Scott? Please tell me this is old. I can't find anything on the Googles. I can't seem to find out on the Googles whether he is or not. But obviously you know very well. I've been showing you your beautiful Republican Party, your tough, amazing MAGA even. Because this is Tim Scott. This guy is they say they want him as VP. Some are saying they want Trump to pick him as VP. And I mentioned it even earlier, before, with Mark earlier even, RFK, the establishment, NATO, this border bill, the saga with Kevin McCarthy. What are they doing? Ronna McDaniel, the woman who was the head of the RNC, asked to step down by Trump, which was a fine move because, like I said earlier, it's failures compounded on failures. That's the Republican Party as we know it. That's the conservative movement. And of course now they're talking about replacing Ronna McDaniel. Well, who should replace Ronna McDaniel? They say. There's a name being thrown around. I saw Matt Gaetz throwing around Kevin McCarthy. I'm pretty sure he was just memeing on him. He may have just been trolling on Kevin McCarthy, saying it'd be great for Kevin McCarthy because you don't have to. You're not involved in any policy stuff. You're just doing fundraising, and he's great at that. He'd be great at that. Smiling faces, fundraising. They're throwing around another name though, Scott Presler. Anybody know this name, Scott Presler? Who the heck is Scott Presler? Name I'm seeing thrown around now, all of a sudden, for this Ronna McDaniel replacement. Resign, Ronna. This man earned it and deserves it. Scott Presler for RNC chair. And I don't know who this long-haired person is. Hair's a little long, flowing in the wind, 3.6 million black kids in poverty. Why do Democrats choose illegal aliens first? Right on, Scott Presler, firebrand. Wait a second. Hold up. This is the response? This is the grand, tough, Republican conservative response? Nick Sorter. I don't know who this is. But he's got a lot of followers. Nick Sorter. Hashtag breaking Ronna Romney McDaniel out as chair of the RNC. Huge win for the Republican Party. Who should replace Ronna? Maybe Scott Presler? Another name, another call for Scott Presler. We go on Scott Presler's X.com profile. And we're assaulted already with, I don't know if I should say assaulted, with that same sign there, 3.6 million black kids in poverty. These Democrats care about the illegal aliens and not the black kids. Scott Presler, hashtag the persistence. So is this guy a Republican? What is he? A conservative? Apparently this guy helped defeat Hillary, Cheney, and organized the Baltimore cleanup. What? You're talking about that cleanup where white people went to Baltimore to clean up the blacks' mess and all the nasty neighborhoods and the trash because the city themselves don't want to do it? You're talking about that Baltimore cleanup? Which is fine. It's like, it's a kind, oh, well, I see. I searched it up on Google, and the first thing I get is blacks cleaning up Baltimore. So maybe I got egg on my face, huh? Maybe I'm just a conspiracy theorist. I'm just a loser racist here because blacks are clearly cleaning up Baltimore. But come on, let's be real. Who organized this? It was white people. Okay, Google, making me look stupid. You got me. But let's be real. It's a conspiracy. Google's serving me these photos to make me look bad. The persistence... Let's move on. My goal is to make Joe Biden a one-term president. Okay, so right on. This person is a conservative, I think, a Republican. This person wants to make kindness cool again. 1.4 million followers. Now, I don't know if this person has previous political experience. Doesn't seem like it. I don't know why they're calling for this person to be your RNC head. And you're seeing this a little bit, right? This person cares about the blacks. He's like, I don't know, Baltimore cleanup. Is this really our grand conservative response? You guys, anybody on me? Anybody with me on this one? You got Tim Scott, Black History Month. You got Scott Pressler. You got replacing the woman. Oh, no. Wait a second. What am I reading here? What the heck? He's gay? If you're upset that Scott Pressler is gay, writes 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒐, whoever that is, unfollow me immediately. This is a patriot hitting the pavement, doing the work for the Republican Party that most refuse to. What does his orientation have to do with his political reputation? Well, I don't know, 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒄𝒏. Is he out and about with it? It seems like you are happy to talk about it. Good people come from all walks of life. Yeah, right. Bad people come from all walks of life. Well, sure. I mean, it's mostly all bad. Let's be real. Don't even want to see that BS on my feed. Wait, what? So this guy's gay. And that's going to be our head of the RNC? You guys understanding the problem here? Why do you think it was the lowest fundraising in a decade, Ronna McDaniel? Why do you think all these conservatives who never understood Trump, they still don't get it? I think it's about stumping and going out there and hitting the pavement. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒄𝒏 thinks that's what it's about. It's about these little wins and cleaning up Baltimore one step at a time, okay? And it's about the little bit you can do. It's like that's true for most people in their individual lives, and that's fine. That's all most people can do, and that's fine. And be as honorable and Christian or whatever in your own individual life. That's fine. But these little wins and we got more women vote than ever, and we got to have Tim Scott so you can get blacks, and all this halfway stuff isn't working. And I don't think people want to see this. They're done with this. They want to see Trump. They want to see the real thing. What was I going to say about this? Tim Scott. What else can I say? You get it. That's who they're trying to replace the RNC head with. That's a step. What I'm trying to say is that we can't do these halfway wins. We can't just... Because I think it's been proven by now that you don't need to do that. Obviously, Trump was the proof, 2016. Oh, you can't say those things. You can't run on those things. That's an unelectable person. But beyond that, we don't have to put up with it. We don't have to put up with halfway stuff. We just don't. We could be tough. We could be like, no immigration. We could be... And people like that. People want to hear that. Anyways, I'm rambling now. That's our GOP. That's that mess. That's the men of the GOP. Speaking of men, I wanted to get into Sneako versus Strickland a little bit, okay? Tough guys, the big tough fighters. But underneath it seems to be emotion and interesting things here. And so it has to do with masculinity. You know Sean Strickland, right? I mentioned him before. He's a UFC fighter. I mentioned him before when it was this, when he got some flack from some Canadian journalist, reporter. And he just went off on them, standing up for the free speech of Canadians and all that. Definitely stuff you can appreciate. He's got this personality where he's bombastic, right? He gets a lot of attention. He gets a lot of negative attention. He's like offensive, right? He got into a spar with Sneako. Sneako was also on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Young guy, influencer type person, went Muslim recently. Met Andrew Tate, made content with them. I like the guy. He's a young entrepreneur type guy. He's a little bit like, how do I explain it? Doughy-eyed. He could be, in my opinion, I don't know him that well. It's, in my opinion, just like doughy-eyed, like looks up to people. But I see him as a stand-up dude doing his thing. Young guy, free man talking, unafraid to have a conversation with Jesse, have conversations with people that are banned just to hear him out. Fuentes and all that. But what else about him? Sneako. He's a guy online. Makes videos. He's a Rumbler. YouTuber, some call him. I think he got banned on YouTube. Rumbler. Kicker. I don't know. He's on Kick. He got a little taste of the big leagues. Let's see what it tastes like. I think I want to do the whole video since I teased it on Friday. We never got to it. I think I want to do the whole fight. Where are my UFC fans at? I'm going to need you. What do you guys think about this fight? Because Sean Strickland's getting a lot of negative attention over this spar he did with Sneako, where he leaves Sneako bloody. They're saying he went too far. Personally, I didn't see any problem with the video. I'm a total layman to the whole sport, though. So where are my UFC fans at? What do you guys think about this video? We'll probably scrub through a bunch of it. Probably not play the whole 4-minute fight here. But it's an interesting little fracas, what do they call it? It was an interesting little fight, okay? A little spar. And it starts off real, like Sean's just taking hits. Like, you can't do anything to me. He's just walking up slowly to Sneako, just eating punches. And Sneako's sending out, again, I'm a total layman, so I'm going to tell you what I think as a layman here. But it looks like Sneako in some of these strikes isn't really holding back, maybe somewhat because it's a spar, but he's going for a few. And Sean, he's telling him, he's telling him, hey, in a minute here, once we get to the last minute or so, you're really going to feel pain. You know, it's going to be easy right now, but then you're really going to see you're going to be in a world of pain, etc. Some might say, well, he was currying good favor, just taking on hits from the amateur so he could really hit him up, but really, he still went too far. And so that's kind of my first impression, seeing the little bit of the video. Let's watch some of it here. Sneako, like I said, starts off here like no big deal. Really just touching gloves. He's going for some body hits. You can actually accomplish something, Sean says. Like he's taunting him, just walking up. Gloves down a lot of the time. There, you see that? You see that? Sneako's not, like it's a spar, but Sneako's like, okay, you know, I'm fighting a world champ here. I'm going to go for it a little bit here. Sean Strickland told him all you had to do was go down. Ego. Interesting, Birdie Bound Brian. It's funny how Strickland kept telling Hamza to calm down in sparrings, but himself went to try and knock down Sneako. Interesting comments so far. I'll give you my take in a sense. But like I said, I didn't see too much. I didn't have a problem with it. He may have gone hard. Don't get me wrong, especially from the stuff I've seen. It seems like he really did go maybe even tougher than he should have. But again, I don't still quite have a problem with it. You got to understand this. He's like doing it for Rumble. He's doing it for the YouTubers. This is not really, you know, Sneako's going in with a champ here with a, you know, he's a, whatever you think of him, he's a world-class fighter, no? He's like, okay, let me touch up the Rumbler here. I think he went far. Let's just watch some more, huh? Keeping it chill. I mean, look, gloves down. Sean's smiling, taunting him. There you go.
You know, as his round progresses, the second knows it works for you.
Taunting.
We got 4 minutes. As we get closer to the 3-minute mark, you're about to feel a significant more amount of pain.
Warning him. I was also thinking, like I said earlier, maybe currying good favor doesn't mean you get to just beat the crap out of him afterwards, just because you let him touch you up for the first 3 minutes of the fight. But hey, he's warning him. Look, I keep saying it. I'm rambling at this point, but I had no problem with the fight, personally. Sneako got into it. Like, I really don't... It sounds like some of you did, though. It sounds like some of the UFC fans in the chat, they do have a problem with it. That, you know, that Sean went too hard. I think you can go too hard, and yet the whole thing was okay because, you know, Sneako got into it with a world-class fighter here, you know? And he stays up, like some of you are saying. He shows heart, as they were saying. They kept saying he showed heart. Because he didn't get knocked out. He didn't go down.
They should be setting in right now that nothing you can do can hurt me.
It should be setting in that nothing you can do can hurt me.
And this is a moment that as you're realizing, you're about to have a really...
I'm going to skip him forward a little bit because I think he swears here. Let's scrub a little bit here. You cannot hurt me, he's taunting him. Do a little movements there. Sneako's been training a bit, I think. Just laughing.
You're a very tough influencer.
He's an influencer. He acknowledges he's not a fighter.
Is it set in yet that you're about to get hurt? No, you're good.
He's warning him. Okay, let's skip forward. I think he's going to pretty much end it here.
2 minutes.
He ends it pretty close here. I think right here.
Your brain, did you think this is how it was going to go?
Sneako's not doing bad.
After his cameraman here says this, it's over.
Let's go.
Ooh. Let that right hand go. What time?
Okay, maybe not. 2 minutes. I think it's here. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Right here. Dang. Uppercuts, like... Dang. Look at these last few hits. So they have to get in there, just stop him. I scrubbed past it, but before the moment he starts going hard, all of Sneako's team, they just start throwing in these towels. The second he started going hard, we missed that part, I think. The moment he started going hard, his camp was like, oh dang. They're like, oh dang.
Let that right hand go. What time we at? 2 minutes. I want to enjoy this a little bit longer. Let that right hand go, Steve. There you go.
Bow, bow, bow. Towels going in. Towels going. Watch. Wait. There are the towels. His buddy was bending over looking for the towel as soon as he started letting those fly. Bow, bow. No, come on. It was just towel after towel. Okay, and so that's the fight. That's it. Let's see some of the aftermath since he's bloody. Dang, Sneako. He stood up, though. He didn't fall down, Sean says. He raises his hand, congratulates him for not falling down. Brutal, some relatively brutal-looking stuff, I think, from my opinion, from what I could tell. It was consensual, says Hake. Yeah, fair point. It was consensual. He did take a beating, though. He took a beating, and I think it's fair to say he did go hard. Like, harder than maybe, and who knows what the reasoning was. Oh, it's for Rumble. He's angry, or he's got problems, or who knows. And I think both could be true, that it's a fine fight. He may have gone hard. I think both could be true. Where are my UFC people at, though? What are you guys saying? Sucker punching a little boy. Yeah, a little boy. He's just a little boy. He's just a little boy. This is how men were made back in the day, right on. Yeah, I'm remembering fighting with a friend who's into UFC and his crew and his friends. It was fun, I gotta say. I put on the gloves and I'm a total amateur, so I just saw fists flying and just my vision was just like this. I was like Sneako. I was basically Sneako versus Sean Strickland. But it was a lot of fun. I don't know. I remember I made the person I was sparring with bleed, though. As a total amateur, I don't know. I didn't expect that. I drew blood just a little bit in the lip. This guy was having so much fun, though, beating the crap out of me. I'm like, let's do that again. That was awesome. I don't know if it was quite like this, though. I don't know if I would be saying the same thing if I was beat up like Sneako. I'd hope to have as much heart as Sneako. They say, I guess just standing up means you got heart. Hey, sounds like he has heart. He kept training afterwards. He showed toughness. He kept training. Even after getting beat up, he kept training. And I've seen that video where Sean Strickland is telling this other UFC fighter to chill, don't spar so hard, you're the best. But who knows what his reasoning was. I think both can be true. It's a fine fight. I have no problem with it. And you went harder than you should have on someone who was an amateur. Maybe for the cameras. Hamming it up for a Rumble. It's good content for Sneako. I mean, that's what Sneako was doing, right? Content. But Sean Strickland's getting some major negative attention from the experts, other fighters, fans for going so hard. Sean going 5%, says Nada. Yeah, maybe he didn't even go that hard. There's some saying he doesn't punch hard and that this is proof of it, that he couldn't knock out Sneako. Well, maybe Sneako has a hell of a chin. I don't know. Threw in the towel like 7 times. They were trying to watch out for their friend. They saw those punches fly. They're like, TD's help. If that was me, I'd want the towel thrown in. I know. I can't believe people are into this, someone in my chat says. There's interesting things here, though. Tough it out. Strickland versus Jake Paul. Here's one of the people who are criticizing Sean Strickland for this. Jake Paul. One of the Paul brothers has called him out. Sean Strickland, you're embarrassing for trying to stop Sneako like that. Is that like a fighting term? Stopping someone? Or is he just using that generally? He spells Sean incorrectly. You weren't even able to drop someone with no experience while going all out. You're a horrid boxer that only picks on inexperienced people. I'll fly you to PR, I don't know what that is, and we can fight on camera. If you win, I'll give you $1 million, half your net worth. But if you get dropped, you have to get BETR tattooed on you. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's a company of his. DM me, but just like Patty, I'm guessing you'll find a way to run. Is he talking, when he says Patty, is this, anybody know who he's talking about? Jake Paul, is he talking about, who's he talking about? Patty? Jake Paul, if you don't know, he's one of the Paul brothers who got, he's been an online person for a while now. And he's been a fighter as of late. Is he the one that fought Mayweather, or was that his older brother? Puerto Rico. PR is Puerto Rico. Okay. Oh, Jake Paul is in Puerto Rico. He's in Puerto Rico. He's also in Puerto Rico. So, yeah, they're starting this online fight here. Jake Paul's calling out Sean Strickland, saying you're so mean for dropping Sneako like that. You shouldn't have did that. Real talk, jokes aside, responds Sean Strickland. Jake Paul is an utter effing joke. You box small, retired, old MMA fighters and sell sugar water to kids. Really, Sean Strickland? Not the kids. You sell sugar water to kids, you big evil corporation. If it were legal, I'd take your effing life with a smile on my face. Whoa. Is there any place on earth I could take this man's life and walk? Whoa. Whoa, Sean Strickland's I noticed Sean Strickland has no problem Fed posting. And I get it, man. You're tough, and nobody can police your speech. Nobody. You know, it's like there's a time and place for all things. What? I guess I'm here another police of speech. I mean, a speech police. Here I am being just a speech police, I guess. Whatever. Sean, I appreciate your free speech. I'm just making that point. But Jake Paul's not happy with you, man. He's calling out the bullying. He's not, I hate bullies, says Jake Paul. Here are your men, folks. I hate bullies. I was bullied and then was the bully sometimes in my YouTuber days. But now all my energy is focused on boxing bullies and helping the youth. What the heck? This guy has like a chip on his shoulder about bullies. You know, people who have a chip on their shoulder about bullies and stuff like that, they got problems. They don't really focus their energies in the right way. They actually cause more problems. They get people to identify in this whole bullying. They make people into victims. It's more victimhood stuff. And so now he's helping the youth with bullying. It's a bunch of crap. Jake Paul, he says, but when I see someone like Strickland constantly bullying people, it's time to bully back. I don't know what to tell you. But I hear this kind of stuff in men, and they're saying, I'm against I'm here, awareness for bullying and mental health, and we're going to take down Sean Strickland. Like, you may not like him. You may want to fight him. You may not like what he did to Sneako. That's all fine. And you may want to take it on the ring and that's all fine. And let the fists do the talking. But this is a mess, man. Oh, boxing bullies and all this crap. What is this feminine stuff? I thought you were a bunch of fighters. These are your fighters? These are your big tough fighters? These are your men talking about men stuff, being fighters? I'm free speech. And I'm Jake Paul, and I'm defending... Like, what is this? Constantly talking about killing people, calling them scumbags or wishing them to die, Jake Paul continues, because they don't agree with your opinion. Reeks of insecurity, not of being a confident man. Be better, buddy. I guess BETR is a company of his or something. And so he's saying, be better. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. But this is our response to the men. This show has been a little bit about the response to the world. The Republicans and the conservatives. When their response to this evil world and the whites going down and all this. Tim Scott and Black History Month and RFK being put away so that we can give more money to Ukraine. And it's your own Republicans doing it. They're replacing Ronna McDaniel, Scott Presler. When it's men, well, men, the world doesn't really like you. And they expect so much of you. And you don't really have the blueprint. You don't know how to really overcome. You got problems. You can see something's wrong. You don't really have the answer. Well, here's your UFC men, the masculine men, telling you about bullying. And I don't know what to tell you. You see, it seems like there's just a false response everywhere. That's why I'm happy. That's why I'm glad I do what I do here with Bond. There is a response to the men and masculinity and all this. And we'll get to that. Jake Paul, bullies. Oh, no, not the bullies. You know, I spoke about Sean Strickland recently. Or, sometime in January when that Canadian reporter was giving him crap. And I appreciated him for standing up for Canadian free speech and free speech in general and his personality and this not wanting to go along with the okey-doke personality. I appreciate that. I respect that. But when I talked about him back then, I looked into him a little bit and I was fascinated by his life story and anger, how much anger had a hold in his life, how these fighters find a relief in the ring. But off the ring, they still have the same spirit. And it's demonstrated in Strickland's life a little bit, if you go back to that show back in January that I did. And his problem with his own father, his grandfather, his neo-Nazi grandfather, and coming to terms and grips with the racism and all that stuff. I spoke about him a little bit. And he, too, has a problem with bullies. Jake Paul, you guys are more alike than you think. Sean Strickland was bullied, and he has a problem with all that, and he's like, that's why you can't do that. He has a similar psychology. He has a similar worldview on that, Jake Paul. It's just an interesting thing I noticed. Whoa! I'm trying to show you a video here. Jake Paul, too, though, may have gone way too hard on an amateur. Wait a second, he doesn't get to talk crap. It sounds like he may have also been way too violent with an amateur fighter. This clip is going around trying to point out his hypocrisy. Hold up. What the? Play me the video. Play the video. There it is. It keeps freezing. You see that? I'm not sure why it's freezing, folks. Here, look. You see this? One more time. Let's see if it freezes. That's amazing. Maybe it's the way I encoded the video or something, because this is an amazing piece of gear here. No reason why this should be happening. I'm playing this video just to point out that I bet you it's more common than you think, especially as the generations go by and anger and the evil of anger and that secret and that mystery is lost. People think fighting and anger is positive for fighting, that you need it for fighting. But it seems like it's probably pretty common that someone in this situation would lose control. And that's another aspect of your training. Besides the physical part, it's that tempering that side, your emotions. So maybe Jake should understand that, a lot of people going through that. Anyways, I really wanted to. What did I really want to say about all this? Sean Strickland and all this. Yeah, I don't have a problem with the fight. He may have gone harder than he should have, but Sneako went into the ring with him. There was another aspect to this drama, I guess, that you might find interesting. It has to do with Sean Strickland versus Owen Benjamin. You know Owen Benjamin, the name. He was on the Jesse Lee Peterson show at one of the men's conferences. And Owen Benjamin's got a big problem with this fight. He's saying this is Sean Strickland with issues, with problems, trying as hard as he can to knock out this YouTuber who's 50 pounds lighter than him. Owen Benjamin criticizing the fight there, calling him a lesbian. I know lesbians who can punch harder than this dude, for real. We call this one couple near me tactical lesbians. I don't know how this is relevant, Owen Benjamin, but hilarious. They're mountain lesbians who patrol this mountain full of meth heads. Okay. On four wheels. Can Def punch harder than Strickland? I've always enjoyed. He doesn't write Strickland. He writes something else. Crappy comments about everyone. He makes me laugh. Talks a ton of ish. Total troll. I dig it. But isn't he supposed to be able to punch? What the F is this? All right, my UFC people, is this true? I hear this from other fighters, and apparently even Strickland himself, that he doesn't punch hard. He's got soft hands. Is that true?
Tonight, Sean, right? Because in the past, it's been a story of you're a volume guy,
I don't hit
hard
harder,
guy, right?
Tell you.
Yeah. Did something change? Has something clicked? Was it just the opponent tonight, or are you different now?
I didn't hit him hard. He quit. At no point I knocked the man out. I just hit him like 30 times and he quit. I don't know what to tell you guys. I throw a ball like a girl. I punch like a woman. Like,
hey, I was a hell of a good baseball player.
Well, you probably throw way harder.
I don't know what to tell you. UFC, is this? Where about UFC people at? Is that true? Is that his reputation? Soft hands, but he's a good fighter though, right? Isn't he like a champ or something like that? I would not spar him. I don't know. I'll tell you that. Maybe just for fun. I take that back. I keep going back and forth because I don't know. I feel like I'd want to show some heart. It might cost me a tooth. Anyway, Sean Strickland here. Maybe my UFC peeps might know better. But Owen Benjamin is trying to point out something that I found interesting about Sean and his psychology, the bully inside. He's even saying JLP should interview Sean Strickland, I think it would be a great idea. I agree with Owen Benjamin.
So what I got to do is I just...
My apologies, the video just plays by itself there. I agree with Owen Benjamin. I think Sean Strickland should go on 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. If Strickland forgave his dad, he would be 1,000 times the fighter that he is. I agree with that, man. That makes sense to me. The calm, collected fighter would be better. Being a victim doesn't make you strong, it makes you weak. Jesse is a mystical black man who will help break down that wall. I agree, Owen Benjamin. That is 100% true.
Got to hit a lot.
Sorry, that keeps playing. But what's Owen Benjamin even talking about here? What is it that he believes that Sean Strickland needs to forgive? That it sounds like Owen Benjamin thinks he'll benefit from that. And he'll benefit from not being a victim. Why is it that he sees him as a victim? Owen Benjamin shared a couple clips here from Sean Strickland. And if you remember, I spoke about this a little bit, how bullying affected him, how his Nazi grandfather affected him. Let's watch a couple of these clips that Owen Benjamin shared, and he's trying to make this point about Sean Strickland and his psychology and forgiveness. Fascinating stuff. Let's watch the first one here. Here he is on Joe Rogan. I forget why Owen Benjamin shared this one. What was the significance? Let's watch a bit of this because it's a long one. I don't want to watch all of it. Sean Strickland with Joe Rogan.
Women are working. There's no more racism in the real. I mean, there's still racism, but you know, it's equality.
That's right. I remember the first part was significant. He already from the get-go, Sean Strickland seems to be going along with some of this crap, saying, well, you know, there's equality at least. It's some racism, but so he believes in racism. But it's getting better. We're getting more equality. Sean Strickland, you must know that whole world is a hateful world that hates whites and even hates the people they purport to love.
Like, people just need something to fight over.
Well, it's also an easy way where you can become special. Yeah. I mean, the New Jersey just said that there was a 4,000% increase in kids identifying as non-binary. First of all, what the does that even mean? And allowing someone to say they're non-binary to me is like, listen, you don't...
I think that was the only significant part. I think they get into Bud Light and stuff, and Sean Strickland seems to be like wishy-washy on Bud Light, which is whatever. What the heck even happened with...
Have to embrace...
On that, we'll move on from this clip because I think the significant part's already played. There's one more after this. But on Bud Light, because I think it comes up in that clip, what even happened after that? I remember seeing the boycotts, and it was effective, I think. It hurt the pockets of Anheuser-Busch. And I'm like, right on. But now looking back, what happened? Isn't Dylan Mulvaney bigger than ever? It kind of goes with what I was saying earlier with the two wings of the parties, GOP. We don't need to do this halfway fake stuff. We don't need to go halfway along with trans, halfway. Anyways, I'm just commenting on that because what came about it? Isn't Dylan Mulvaney still big? Here's the one more clip, Sean Strickland and the bully inside. Here, last clip here, to maybe really illustrate this point here on masculinity, these fighters, anger. Okay, it's a little loose, but hopefully you're following. Maybe this will make sense after this clip. Let's watch.
I prefer if people understood who I was.
He's talking about being bullied, I believe.
Instead of just like assumed who I was. You know, and like it all starts when you're a kid, right? So when I was a kid, man, I went through some traumatic shit. Like some things that I would never tell any living soul that knows me, just because it would change how they see me. It would change how I see myself. But anyways, like, so you take that, and then now you're set to go through life. I couldn't fit in elementary school. I was homeschooled just because I was such a fuckhead. So I was homeschooled. I went back in middle school. And then again, I messed up, so they put me in like this special class where there's only like 4 other people, and they isolate you from the rest of the school. So it's like now I know I'm fucked up. They put me in this room where I have like no contact with the other people. I already have social issues, and like I was bullied a lot. You know, I was bullied by a lot of people. I bullied people as well. I was definitely not a saint. I was a fucking asshole. But I started like...
Apologies, I know the sun is still up.
fixating on like the thought of like if I killed somebody, it would make me feel better. Like there was something in my brain that said, Sean, like all you have to do is kill somebody. Like if you kill somebody, it's gonna give you whatever relief you want. And I mean, I would walk through neighborhoods with a knife, just hoping I could kill somebody, you know. And I'm not saying I'm a victim. Like I'm better now. I'm better now. But the shitty thing about like that kid, he's still in me, and it's not a strength. It doesn't help me fight better. Like if anything, it makes my self-esteem lower. It makes my confidence lower. Like it doesn't help me succeed. There'll be times where like I lay in bed at night and I can't sleep. I used to have insomnia, and I figured out the only thing that helps me fucking sleep. Nights I can't sleep, I think about like somebody breaking in, or some reason, some justification of me taking another human being, putting him to a chair, and fucking cutting him to pieces with a knife. I would rather think about laying on a beach and knock out, but that's not how my brain fucking works.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, swearing and all that, but any of that resonate, folks? Like, at least he admits it, right? It's in him. It doesn't make him a better fighter. It doesn't help him. Brings down his lowest. It brings down his esteem and all that. Isn't that interesting? That demon in you that really all people have, that chips away at you, works in your mind, works in your dreams. And it works on angry people. It works on these twisted hearts and souls. Because we're like evil. We're like angry and evil. We're hateful, angry, and evil. Just pay attention to yourself. And so this works on them. This works on them. I just found it an interesting insight, or the psychology here a little bit, the spirit, the bully inside. I agree with Owen Benjamin. I think a talk with Jesse would be great. Most people don't know that they have to forgive. They just don't know. They know something's wrong. But even fighters, you got muscles, you're tough, you're about free speech. That doesn't matter. You can be about all those right things. You'll be used for wrong. You'll be a pawn for the evil agenda, even if you're on the right side of abortion, on the right side of all these free speech, on the right side of that Canadian reporter. You know, how Sean Strickland is. All of that, all that good will be made moot and negative, net negative, because you'll be a pawn for evil because you're emotional and angry. You can't do otherwise. You can't help it. You can't help but do wrong. There's no other way around it. Fascinating stuff though there with men and the UFC and politics and all those intersections, huh? What do you guys think? What do you guys think about all that? Sean Strickland. I wish him well, like I was saying earlier. I appreciate the toughness. But that's not enough. And that's not what masculinity is. It's something more than the outside, what you look like, how loud you are, and how many shots you take. No, it's what you overcome. It's what you get over. It's not enough to if you're just this guy who just takes shots. I just take shots and I just keep going, and I'll take 1,000,000 shots. And there's something respectable about that, obviously. But you'll only ever be that person. You'll only ever be this abused person who takes shots. You see what there's a life after that. There's a life beyond that. Okay, am I making some sense here? You can't just stay that person who takes shots. You'll just be a traumatized person. You'll just stay that way. I take the shots. I take the shots. I take the hits. I'm Sean Strickland. Any fight, bring it on. Any fight, and you'll just only ever be this person who fights, who's always angry and fighting, and just ready to fight. And the best fighters are the calm ones, anyways. The ones who forgave. Well, I don't know if anyone's saying that, but the ones who are in that flow state, not in their thoughts and emotions. Just what I was thinking about on this whole topic. But yeah, on the actual fight with Sneako, I don't care about that. I don't think I have a problem with that. If anything, after seeing these clips with the other fighters and all that, it sounds like it's very likely that Sean it's easy for him to go too far. to overreact. It's just, that's something easy for him to do. So when he didn't go down and those punches afterwards, you're like, dang, look, I made him bleed. It's very likely he didn't even mean to do that. So there's your heart. I hope you enjoyed the show. That's pretty much it from me, American Anchor Baby. Got more show for you tomorrow. Don't miss it. But before we say our 3, 4, 5 goodbyes, let's check the super chats here. You lovely, lovely people supporting the show. Thank you, Yes Gunner. Appreciate that. It says, he actually hurts people. Look at what he did to Izzy. Even though he lost his last fight, his opponent looked like a meatball. Interesting, Yes Gunner. Yeah, some of the UFC heads that I know agree with you there. Even if they say the fight may have been fine. There's this element to Sean, I'm hearing from the UFC heads that I know, that is about more than sparring. It's emotional. It goes too far. And this may very well have been a case of that. Pretty awesome experience for Sneako, though. what an entrance into the world. I think it's a good look, in my opinion. Hey, you didn't go down. Right on. Let's go, Sneako. All right. buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. I will read those next time I'm on air if you do support me there. But that is it from me. All right, y'all. Catch me tomorrow for more American Anchor Baby at noon Pacific time. Like, follow, subscribe. If you like what you saw, if you didn't like what you see, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're thinking. And if you liked it anyways, let's game the algorithm and comment anyways. All right, y'all. Truly, goodbye. See y'all. Bye.